I think this scene is a good example of one in which I was able to strike a good balance. As you've probably figured out, I think that one of my strengths as a writer is the dialogue, but at the same time, I constantly have to try to rein myself in, hold myself back, because otherwise there's just this constant temptation to let it get way too wordy, go on way too long, and just get boring. So I think I reached a good compromise in this scene where I was able to use Corcus trying to hit on the barmaid in the background there to kind of balance that out and keep things kind of snappy and fast-moving, even during this long, wordy exchange between Judo and Guts. And really, it was just an accident. Really, I just needed something to put in Corcus' mouth in this scene right here, because I wanted to use that clip. But I think it worked out rather well.
Dignity for one thin dollar. Why, before Griffith taught me how to commit murder for fun and profit, I was nothing more than a prostitute on the streets.
I kind of got called out on that Calcutta line. Somebody asked me, hey, why Calcutta specifically? And I was forced to answer, I have no idea. It was just the first exotic place name that came to mind. So, on behalf of the fine prostitutes of Calcutta, I could be absolutely wrong. They probably ply their trade in tastefully appointed whorehouses, and not on the street at all. So, no offense meant to the fine prostitutes of Calcutta, who may be watching this. I had a tough time with this scene when I was watching the original. It took a couple of viewings before I could really get into Judo's head here, because it seemed to make no sense to me that he was really just that nice of a guy that he would try to set Guts up with Casca, who he's obviously into. So I had to tweak that a little for my version, but I think it worked out. But it took a little doing to really get into the character's motivation there. And I really like this whole exchange too, and Corcus thinking there's going to be prostitutes, or strippers is what it is. Bring back the strippers for another go-round. Now, coming up here is one of my absolute favorite moments in all of Berserk Abridged, where I use this crazy disco cover of a Steam song called Na Na Hey Hey Kiss Him Goodbye, which I'd planned on using in this scene just about from the beginning, but when I actually came down to it here, I couldn't find the original version. I was looking on Amazon on their wonderful MP3 download service, and so I had to settle for a cover. And so I found this crazy disco cover, and I said, okay, this works, this is good, but it's so fast-paced, just boom, 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 boom. And I couldn't... And this fight scene just isn't that way. I didn't have a lot of action to set to it. So I, just basically had all these reaction shots and them looking at each other. So I hit on the idea to set those scene changes to the music rather than the actual action of what the characters were doing. And I think that was a big turning point in my editing. I think once I hit on that, I was really able to take a big step forward in how to deal with scenes like this. And boy, when I was done with this, it was one of those things where, I did it, and I skipped back, and I watched it, and I was just like, looking at it now, it's not quite as good as I thought it was back then. The sync isn't immaculate, but it's okay. But boy, when I first did it, I watched it 8 or 10 times through. Like, holy crap, I did that! Sweet! Yeah! I was concerned here with the latter almost half of the episode that it was too much music, not enough dialogue, but I guess as a balance for the first half of the episode, which was very dialogue heavy, I guess it does work. Actually, I've got a cut of this, just the last half of the episode where it's mostly music, which is my con edit. My plan is that if I ever want to go to a con and want to have an entry for the AMV contest, I can just take that edit and submit that, but I've never had to yet. I've always had something else to throw in. And Lupin! This was just one of those things where I was watching the episode and I thought, well, that wasn't very slick of Griffith. He's usually so slick. James Bond never would have let himself get caught in that situation. But I didn't want to use James Bond. I wanted to try to use an anime character if I could. So, of course, who's the smoothest pimp daddy of all anime characters? Lupin. And, Kaiser Neko once mentioned to me that when he was doing Lupin the Third Abridged, he saw this and said to himself, oh, goddammit, now I can't use the Lupin joke, because HBI2K already did it. Oh, poor Kaiser, I stole his best joke. before he could even get started. It does suck that he wasn't doing Lupin yet when I did that also, because I would have loved to have had him in there as the Lupin voice instead of myself. But I'm rambling and I've gone way over time, so fuck it, see you next time.